Oh, hey guys. Today we're going to do a solid state hard drive upgrade for one of my clients here. He's got a Lenovo X1 Carbon. This one here with this model, if you go to Lenovo's website or just type down on Google for Lenovo serial type or type lookup, one of I think the second or the third link on your Google search will give you an option to check your Lenovo product for warranties. And once you type in the type, or the serial number, which this one's kind of blocked off. Thing ends with 11 there, but I just did a search for type. You can put it in the serial number, the search also in Lenovo, and it'll actually give you the information. So for this one here with a type 3444-B7U, it actually comes up to being a first gen ThinkPad X1 Carbon. So for this model here, it's pretty simple to open up the bottom panel, and there's only one issue though. Well, yeah, one issue with this system here, because I was under the assumption that you can just use a 2280 series an M.2 SSD, but you can't. So just follow these instructions here, then I'll get you the right links and stuff for you guys to actually buy the proper adapter and the hard drives for it. So if you flip it upside down and just place the screen side on your table, as you can see here, the screws, three screws up on top, one in the middle left, middle right, and two at the bottom here. So it's pretty simple. Once you remove those screws, the most important thing I want to highlight with this here is that, and then once you do open it up, just to make sure you keep your screen face down and then the keyboard face right upwards. And to easily to pry this open, you don't need any prying tools. Your thumbnail would be perfectly fine. So as you can see here, I put a closer look, which is this top left hand corner here. So if you're looking at the next pic that I'm showing you, this will be the section here. Or you can do it on the other side too. It really depends how you want to start off, but it's simple either way. And all I did is I literally just used my thumbnail just to pry it open, and I literally ran it from left to right, and the bottom also from the left side to the screen side, and then the right side to the screen side, and it opens up very easily. But this is the important part I want to make note is that I have it open up here. As you can see, it actually doesn't open up like a regular laptop where you would just open up the bottom panel. This one here, the keyboard top case assembly comes apart also, which actually will actually fall down if you don't prop your hand and put it underneath here to hold it in place. It will actually fall down, so you got to make sure that when you're prying it open, just make sure that you got one hand on this section here and then one hand on here, because you do have a cable here that will stretch, but it won't. It's long enough so that it'll allow you to put the keyboard top case facing the screen side. So if you want to make sure that you don't want to damage or scratch your screen for whatever reason, just put like a thin cloth or a chamois underneath in between the keyboard top case and your screen here to avoid any damages if you're worried about anything. But I didn't have to do it. You shouldn't have to do it. But if you want to take precaution, just make sure that nothing happens. Just put a towel or a thin hand towel in between your keyboard and your screen top case. And as you look here, it's kind of hard to see, but if you see an opening here, the battery is not really secured in any way. It's not even holstered down, and that's the worrisome part. So when you do have it open, what I would suggest doing is that if you want to just take it out, because as you can see here, you can see the M.2 SSD here. You can actually just push this battery or the bottom case more upwards towards like the back end, so that you could actually have a partial lean more on the opposite side of where this is facing down. You know, more like this here. It's kind of hard for you to see the angle. If I turn it sideways, you would see that this section here, this battery and the bottom case here, it's actually leaning on the back side by about 3 to 4 degrees. It doesn't look like it, but it is. So that I can just leave it like that, and you can just simply remove the screw. Or what you can do, the opposite, is you can lay this battery down on the table, and then have this pointing upwards at a 5 degree angle, leaning on the back side. So either way, I mean, but this works. It's not a big deal. But the only one problem with this is, if I'll put a close look for you here. Um, if you look at this one here, it doesn't show you that it's a 2270 series, but this SSD is a 2270 series. It's on a 2280, which is the problem, because if you're trying to use a 2280 like what I had ordered, because I just thought it would actually work. I didn't look into it too deep, because I thought most laptops use a 2280, because most laptops do. I didn't think anything was going to be different with this. So, but the thing is, when you end up buying a 2280, the the length of the 2280 series is a lot, excuse me, longer than the 2270, so it'll actually overlap this section here. So you can't use it properly and it won't close properly. So that's just completely out of the question. So what you need here is, if you look at it here, this is the original SanDisk that actually came with this Gen 1, X1 carbon, and if you see it here, it's just, this is the adapter that you're gonna have to buy. So what I'll do is I'll actually provide you the link for that on Amazon for you to buy it, so that you can use these two different series, either the 2230 and the 2242 series. So what my client wanted to do, instead he just went with the 2230. So I already ordered that for him, which I will provide for you guys in the link also. And if you look at it here, this is a 2280 that I bought for my client because that's what he wanted. He wanted a 500 gig, M.2 2280 series. And if you look at the length difference between a 2280 and a 2270, there's a big difference. And plus the configuration on the insert is completely different also. So I think this is, here's a 6 pin, and I think this is either a 2280, it's either a 4 or 5 pin, but it won't work anyway. So the only way to do is that you have to buy this adapter, which I will provide in the link under the description, for you to use this with the 2230 or a 2242 series, and that's just the easiest way to go about it, so that you don't run into problems. So and if I'll show you another idea here, or an example here. So I put in a 2280 just to give you the difference in the length, so that if you look at it here on the right side, and then if I was to lay this down, it would clearly go right into the metallic part here. So as you can see, it ain't gonna work. So just remember, if you're gonna do the upgrade for the Gen 1, the first Gen X1 Carbon, just make sure that you get the adapter for this. Or you could actually get an original, with a larger capacity 2270 series, M.2 SSD from eBay or other sellers online. You can find them. I'm not really that big of a fan of SanDisk. I really don't think it's reliable. I've bought SanDisk before in the past for the last 23 years, and I've had issues with them. That's why I don't buy them. But if you, like I said, if you do have warranty with them anyway, so if you guys want to buy them, you can find the larger capacity SanDisk, because this one here was only 256, and the client wanted a 500 gig, and he was fine with that. So just remember, right? So your original SSD that comes in this system is a 2270 series, and you can't use a 2280, which is most standard laptops use now these days. So the only ones that you can use with this adapter that we'll provide in the link also is a 2230 and a 2242. And I hope that helps you guys out, because I kind of run into this stump because my client drove about 45 minutes away to find out that we couldn't use a 2280, and I'll get the other hard drive by tomorrow anyway, so it's not a big deal because Amazon ships everything for overnight anyway. So I hope this helps you guys out. So if you have any questions, just put them in the comments, and then thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.